Hello and welcome to the podcast that knows things. I am Ben. Tonight's episode is particularly ripe tonight. We're recording this on 10-Dub 2018. That'd be 10/20/2018 for those not in the know. Season 5, Episode 5, Game of Thrones title, Kill the Boy. Make sure you listen to Drinks and Nose podcast on Radio Public. It's free, easy to use, and helps listeners like you and me support this show like ours. When you listen to our show on Radio Public, Android, or iOS app, everyone benefits. All right, so with that said, join me tonight, as always, is Luke on of House Blackmaid.
Well, hello, people.
Glenny Dog of House Dog.
Good morning.
Abby, a.k.a. Gertie of House Condescension, is not joining us tonight. She is a little under the weather, so we... thoughts and prayers.
Broken leg syndrome. It's kicking in.
Syndrome. Yeah.
Broken leg
is not here. But for our special guest for tonight, we have the one, the only Johnny B. fucking Crazy. Hey, Johnny, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. How's everyone? Thank you so much for having me on, man.
Well, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. So, what's everybody drinking?
I got double fisted. I got a wine. I guess Franzia and Bud Light.
Nice.
Still working on that box wine. I've got a glass of OJ with ice cubes.
Nice. Johnny?
Yingling Black and Tan.
Nice. To live. That's the one issue I have living west of the Mississippi. No Yingling.
Unless you go east to the Mississippi.
Some
and then bring
Modelo.
some home.
Next time we Count of Ice and Fire, or whichever one we're going to. I'm grabbing a thing of it.
Anytime you travel.
Yeah. I have Modelo Negra Special tonight.
Oh,
so this show and all of our shows at thepodcastthat.com are produced with love and support of our wonderful Imaginary Legion patrons. Learn more about our reward tiers at patreon.com/stayimaginary. So, Johnny, tell us about your current project and where people can learn more about you and find you.
Okay, well, I'll even have to look at the spreadsheet myself because I have so many things. Well, I have the Cylon Johns. It's a Battlestar Galactica rewatch series with John St. Baptiste. You can check that out. Mondays we do a 30-minute teaser stream and a recap, the expert recap of the series. And every Friday at around 10 Eastern, we have a panel of first-timers that just tell us what they think, and it's kind of a spoiler-free rewatch. Completely, not professional like this or anything. It's just we wing it,
Yeah.
But it's a fun time. Check it out. And I'm either streaming on my main channel, Johnny B. Crazy, Tuesdays or Thursdays, just depends what's going on. And I'm always on every Wednesday on Episode Club with Mackenzie L. Burns. And that's usually at 8 o'clock. Is it Central, Ben? Do you remember?
8 Eastern, 7 Central.
Yeah, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. So, yeah. Too many things going on, man.
Excellent. But definitely check out Johnny's channel. He puts out great content. He's been a great supporter of our show here. So definitely appreciate him being on tonight. All right. So previously episode recap, that would be Glenn. What do you got for us?
All right. Jorah steals a boat and brings Tyrion along. Jaime and Bronn arrive in Dorne as we learn of the Sand Snakes. The Sparrows make their presence known in King's Landing. Jon does his duties as the leader of the pack. Sansa continues to settle into her digs. In Meereen, the Suns go on a rampage. A bold strategy is developed to stop them.
I remember those things happening.
Sure, I guess. All right. So, as I said, the opening tonight's episode is Season 5, Episode 5. The duration of the show was 57 minutes. It first aired on May 10th, 2015. It was directed by Jeremy Podeswa and written by Brian Cogman. Luke, go ahead with the episode description.
Dany makes a difficult decision in Meereen. Jon recruits the help of an unexpected ally. Brienne searches for Sansa. Theon remains under Ramsay's control.
Mm-hmm.
Bum, bum, bum.
Hashtag
All right.
Luke, sexy voice.
So now it's time for everybody's favorite part of the show, the Quill and Tankard Pub Trivia. Now, Johnny, I'm sure you've been paying attention, but the way we do this is I ask a question on our little Google thing here. In your box, type your answer, but don't hit enter until I say so. And then we'll all look at it. Any points you get goes to Abby's overall score for the end of the season.
And she has a broken leg.
Yeah.
Hurricanes, broken legs. It's just hard to keep first-time watchers around, I think.
It's a grind if you're a first time watcher.
It's just such a grueling position to be on the show.
It's a detriment to your fucking health, is what it is.
You know, it's a testament to her determination to continue with this, though. She'll be back.
So, all right, everybody ready?
Yes.
Sure.
How many horses and how many men is John going to send with Tormund?
It's like Humpty Dumpty.
The one thing.
Thumbs up when you're ready. Thumb up, thumb up, thumb up, hand up. All right.
How do you know this?
That's what I do. I drink and I know things.
All right, in 3, 2, 1, hit enter. All right. So, Glenn says 9 of each. Luke says 10 horses and 9 men plus himself. Johnny says a dozen each. Technically, Luke, you're incorrect by adding in and himself. Because he says, I will send 10 men or 10 horses and 9 men to ride with you. Then Tormund says,
This
and
is
you're
specifically
coming with
why
me.
I wrote it that way, because I knew it was 10 and 9, and then later on he agrees that he'll go himself.
I understand. He doesn't actually agree. He doesn't say anything. Tormund says, you're coming with me. But I'll give you the point. It's fair. I'll give it to you. I'm not going to be that much of a dick.
Because you could have been dick the other way. Like, oh, at the end, he was forced to go himself too.
just saying.
So that's why I made it clear. Like I knew what was said.
It's fair. All right.
I have to apologize to Abby. Yeah.
All right. So my other question, just for funsies, because I always try to come up with another one.
2 of them.
Where is Sansa supposed to hang her candle?
Are we writing this in somewhere?
No, just say it. Just if you know.
Oh, the window.
Window, the broken tower.
Broken tower. Top.
Which window?
The top tower. The top window. The north window.
Highest window of the broken tower. Okay. All right. I was happy with my question then. All right. So we're going to start with the opening of the show. Nothing new. Peter Dinklage gets the lead title again. We go King's Landing, Winterfell, Wall, Bravos, Marine, and Dorne. Anything on this? Johnny, got anything on the opening credits?
Oh, the opening credits? No, not really. Just what you said, Dorne. Let's go.
Fair enough.
Time to go.
So we're going to start in Marine. We have Grey Worm, Missandei, Dany, Dari 2.0, Barristan, His Urzo Kravitz, leaders of the houses, and Rhaegal and Viserion. Missandei watches over Grey Worm's recovery. Barristan is laid to rest. Dany confronts the heads of households and feeds her kids. Glenn, what you got?
Yeah, this one kind of sucks because Danny's down another trusted advisor, someone that kind of pushes the checks and balances a little bit, and she would actually listen to. And it seems like he would question her rules sometimes, or just kind of give her good advice. And I think she's going to struggle without having somebody like that after losing Jorah earlier this season, I guess.
Yeah, Johnny, what you got for this scene?
Well, we got the classic Grey Worm Sunday music, which I'm going to love, right? And Barristan seemed to have crossed the continent to serve Dany, to die for D&D, for their pleasure. But I really, if we're going into, Dany seemed to really be enjoying that moment. That's what I took away from it. She had a smirk on her face the whole time, and I don't know, that was a very intense scene. Even Dario was was shaken by it, and he's not shaken by many things.
I mean, she's got to try something else here, I guess, right? I mean, she's down Barristan now, and but I don't really think Barristan would have advised the course of action that she takes down here in the dragon cells, if you will, and this girl just needs some help. She's got nobody. Like Glenn was pointing out. I mean, she's lost another really trusted advisor, and I think she's even more probably regretting not having Jorah. Who, yeah, I mean the betrayal thing, but even we even saw how she kind of regretted that right away. She was like, he was still good with me, even though he did this one thing. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think she asks like Missandei like her opinion, and like Missandei's like, "Wow, why are you asking me? Like I'm not. This is not my thing."
Yeah. My only note on it was, so Dany's basically the tickler now, or, a mixture of the tickler and the mountain of you're next, your turn. Oh, who's going to speak now? Where's the gold in the village? But it's one, I mean, like Luke said, she really has no other course of action. She's at a loss. So definitely an interesting, way for her to go.
She needs some help.
She needs some help. Yeah. So next scene in Marine, we have Missandei and Grey Worm. Grey Worm wakes and speaks of his fears. I'm going to start with this one. Of all the shoehorned in storylines, I'm actually okay with this one. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's a love story that doesn't need to be there, blah, blah, blah. This one, it's sweet. It doesn't add or take away from anything. It actually adds a little bit of character to Grey Worm, which I'm okay with. Luke?
Go to me last.
Okay. Johnny?
Yeah, well, it's one of those extremely simple love stories, but complicated at the same time. And I think that's really nice about it. Also, that's one of mankind's biggest fears, right? Is the fear of failure, failing the ones we love. And it's pretty impactful when you think about it. And that's basically the only person he's ever loved. So, yeah, it really makes, like, for what it is, I agree with you, Ben.
Luke or Glenn, do you have something for this scene?
Yeah, I just kind of agree with Johnny there. Like, I think, like, for Grey Worm, basically, and, like, the Unsullied, you don't get a lot of, like, emotional, things from them. They're kind of, the way they were brought up is just kind of, you're soldier A, that's soldier B, and, like, you don't really get to do a whole lot. Like, this is your life, so you don't get to love anybody. We'll just cut you off, down there. Good luck.
Exactly. And Luke, go ahead.
I put a bit of a
fine.
I just put fine. It's whatever. It's fine. But really, when it comes down to it, I completely agree with what you guys were getting at, and it just, we've seen him struggle with not knowing what these emotions even mean. I mean, at the beginning of this season, we see. What was it? White Rat? What was his name? White Rat get his throat slit, and Missandei's asking him, why would someone in your position be going to a brothel for this? And he's like, I have no idea. So it's just kind of like there's been some development that you wouldn't normally get from this type of character, which on first blush is just kind of like, whoa, this is different, but I'm okay with it. It's fine.
They gotta still get the warm and fuzzies, right? When you think about it, they gotta get the warm and fuzzies and the cozies, something from it.
They're cozies.
Yeah, I mean, and I really do agree, and it just seems kind of quick for him to, I don't know. He's also basically on his deathbed, so
And she's been really his only contact, like she's been his person since he's been freed,
and since he's been peeping on her in the river.
That too. Yeah. Never mind. Gonna go with the Olena joke of the nothing smashes against the decrepit, but Missandei definitely not decrepit. So, all right.
Next up out of the water. Oh, sorry.
The water rose about 4 inches that day. So next scene in Marine, we have Dany, Missandei, and Hizdar. Dany is counseled to search within and finds a new suitor on his knees. Go ahead, Luke.
She really, really needs some help. Like, she's asking, I mean, no offense to Missandei, and I love her, but even Missandei's like, you probably shouldn't be asking me. Like, I am not really qualified for this conversation. But then she does, provide some pretty good, feedback of like, hey, I've seen you listen to your advisor's, advice, I guess, and I've seen you go against exactly what they say. At the end of the day, it's your call. Like, trust your gut is kind of what she gets at. And for a Targaryen, I think that's kind of what she needs the reaffirmation on. So,
yeah. Johnny?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they all did get what they deserve, right, there would be no one left to rule over. And that's a good point there. And I think the fact that Danny actually asked Missandei's advice is a big deal. And that's really what I took away from it. And yeah, you know, it takes courage to admit fear and a mistake. And Danny admits her mistakes, but then she marries Kravitz, right? So I don't like that.
This girl needs some help. Like, this is the choice she comes up with. I think she could have done okay with just the fighting pits. Like, let's just see where that goes. Let's play that card first.
Yeah, one at a time.
All right, Glenn.
Yeah, my note about this one is she does not kill the boy, meaning she doesn't kill Hizdar. Not that he's like a boy or anything, but she doesn't kill him.
He's a rock star.
Also, like, we're going to talk about this like kind of later with John, but like the episode title to kill the boy with Maester Aemon, basically, you know, like, you're mature enough to make your own calls. You know, you don't have to come to me. Like, just trust your judgment. But we kind of see this as like two totally like the same situation almost, but just two totally different characters that are, you know, kind of it's handled in like a different way or whatever.
Yeah.
You mean Johnny and John and Danny? Johnny and Dan?
Johnny and Danny.
Yes, Johnny and Danny. I got her.
Yeah, I feel like they're in a pretty similar situation too, kind of at the top of this, you know, group that they're in charge of with no support. I mean, they're kind of on their own, feeling like they need some help, but don't really have anyone to ask, and they just have to do something.
Right.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
So my only notes on this is Cindy is actually giving good advice, like Luke was saying about looking within. Sometimes she really is her best counselor. Sometimes she's her worst enemy. So it's kind of one of it's the Targaryen coin toss of, you know, is she insane or is she, you know, a great ruler? And she's not even sure yet.
But she is asking the questions. I mean, she's at least asking the people that she has for. Exactly. I mean, she listened to Hizdar. She listened to Dario 2.0. She listened to Missandei. I mean, she is asking the questions.
The slave, the guy who, you know, asked to be sold into slavery. She listened to him.
Yeah. So good on her.
Exactly. So, all right. We're going to take a non-Jojen train up to the wall.
Ghost Jojen train.
Jojen! Sam, Aemon, Jon, and Tormund. Sam read a letter about Danny. Jon seeks advice from the Maester, and Tormund makes one more demand. Johnny, what's your thoughts on this?
Well, you know, first of all, Aemon's speech, and I'll let someone else read it because, you know, the buttery voice of Luke would probably be better. You know, and we get the Tormund and the Free Folk, how they'll never kneel for you, and it's really big. Jon doesn't want them to kneel, and the confrontation, or lack thereof, he has with Tormund is so intense, and you can see the respect that Tormund has for him when he takes the chains off. And, you know, it seems like Jon sees the big picture. And that's pretty much all I got for it for now.
Glenn?
Yeah, so, yeah, Maester Aemon, like, he just kind of, as Jon's just trying to ask his advice, like, hey, should I do it? You know, he's like, half the men hate you already. Do it. Go for it. Like, he does either like he's getting real senile or something like that, or like just doesn't care anymore.
Just a crotchety old man. Fuck it at this point.
Fuck it, I don't give a shit.
Doesn't matter to me.
Or he's just
like, fell off the car weeks ago.
Or like maybe it's just like at this point, like you need to make your own decisions, and like don't base it on popularity or anything like that. Do what's in your gut, and you know, if you feel like it's the right thing to do, then you know, go for it.
You have a ball feeling.
A ball feeling.
Got a feeling in my balls about this one.
God damn it! I want to say it's Clerks, but the old saggy balls was down. But I don't think it's Clerks. All right. Anyway. Oh no. What's the old guy?
Is it Clerks?
No. I know. He's so old.
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy.
That's it.
Old,
That's it.
wrinkly balls.
Maybe it's a 10-year plan.
I wipe my own ass.
What's this 10-year plan? Don't die?
Don't die.
What is it? Don't die. Sid is here.
Shine every day.
I thought you were sleeping with my girl. I am.
So, I'm going to go to the end of the scene with Torment, and I like the line of, "That's a brave thing to say to man in chains." John unlocks the chains, looks at him like, "What now, bitch?" You know, but it's a smart move on Torment's part, though. No reason to trust the crows. As much as he might like John and John likes him, there's no reason to say that, you know, he's not wrong that the ships will be burnt at sea with them shipped off. So, Luke, finish off.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of commenting on what Torment makes a lot of really good points here. Is, you know, he has no reason to trust them aside from this one guy. You know, John's the only reason, the only connection to any kind of trust that he would put his people at jeopardy for. And I don't know, I think it's a smart move on Torment's part to be like, okay, well, if we're going to do this and we're going to do this for you, it's going to have to be you involved as well, because they're not going to trust the word of me and some Joe Blow, you know, Tim the Axeman who just came along for the ride. Like, no, it's Jon fucking Snow, Lord Commander. Like, that's going to carry some weight that to get these people to come at the mercy of the Night's Watch, which looks like it'd just be a slaughter, right? Like, oh, come to our gate where we'll just, you know, lock you in and blaze you. I mean, it pretty, not a very compelling, enticing offer he's making them on first blush.
Yeah, I think about this though. Like, what if he was just like trying to get them out of his like hair? So he's like, "Why don't you go get your people and then bring them back here?" Like, hoping that they would die in the process. And then he's like, "Well, you're coming with me." Fuck.
God damn it. Back to the Aemon Targaryen. When he gets to the line, "A Targaryen alone in the world is a terrible thing." I mean, clearly he's talking about himself and Dany, and it's just a kind of a cool way of showing that, like, where they were for the last 300 years before Robert's Rebellion. This is the last two that we know of. And it's just kind of coming down to, and he's like, the only person she could actually have with this family lineage is hundreds of thousands of miles away and up at the wall, dying. Like, what fucking
Across
use?
A narrow sea.
A really narrow sea, a lot of land mass, though. That's what I was getting at. It's a narrow sea for sure.
Can we go into how sad this was in the books when this happened? On the ship in Bravos?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That was epically sad. I almost cried reading the book. It didn't really happen.
There's a lot of rough scenes in there. I mean, I think we'll probably touch more on that during epilogue after this.
Okay.
Just to open that, I think maybe that could be the main thing we touch on. So make a note of that, because I will forget.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, the whole crux of Aemon's speech here is, kill the man and kill the boy and let the man be born. And basically, like Glenn was saying, is, I mean, you gotta start just making these fucking choices. I mean, it's not going to be easy. There's not going to be a right choice. There's going to be choices. You make it knowing that to yourself it makes sense for what you're planning to do, but you have to do something.
Plus, you got to look strong. You just got to point at this new role, and like, if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, people are gonna know that. They're gonna figure it out, and then you're.
It's a lot like what Thorne was telling him a couple episodes at the Battle of the Wall, when he was like, people are gonna fucking question you. You have to just stick to your guns and do the fucking job. Like, as soon as you start second guessing it, everyone's gonna second guess you, and that's not good for anybody involved. So. It's kind of interesting getting almost the same speech to Jon, just from a completely different perspective.
An older man.
Yeah, an even older person. Good
and one he actually respects compared to Thorne, or I shouldn't say he doesn't respect Thorne, he just doesn't like Thorne. This is a guy he actually likes.
Yes.
So when it comes from somebody like that, you're more likely to listen.
Mm-hmm.
That and half of Castle Black already doesn't like him.
Yeah.
So even when he makes his decision, whether he makes it or not, half the people aren't going to like him either way for what he's already done with Wildling. They're holding it all against him anyway.
Right. It's not like getting elected like the president or something, and then like you gotta kind of get ready for your next campaign 4 years later or something like that.
Yeah. Exactly. A different way I thought you were going to take it there, Glenn, but that works. good analogy.
Grab him somewhere.
Good analogy. So, Jon, staying at the wall, Jon, Yarwyn, Thorne, Ed, Sam, Stannis, Men of the Night's Watch, and Davos, and Ollie. Jon tells his men the plan to save the wildlings. Ali speaks his mind. Glenn, you got something for this one?
Yeah, like I get all like the fuck Ali stuff, like, but I understand like he's going to be like kind of upset, like not really liking the decision Jon's making. But yeah, just kind of the way he's just kind of still like doing his like duties and stuff like that, and kind of just looking like a little asshole or whatever. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. I like the line, and I'm stealing this because other people have this note, but I'm using it first. Let them die. There will be less mouths to feed. Fewer. Stannis, the king of grammar. But going to the Ali part, fuck Ali could give Jon a run for his money on brooding and scowling. He gives that stink eye quite well to him, just like the and speaks his mind. And yeah, I mean, I get it. On like you were saying, Glenn, he killed his family. He has a right to be upset, but you know what? The war's over. The Night's Watch won, and now this is what the leader's saying. Suck it up, Buttercup. Luke?
We, the viewer, know that Jon is right. Like, we know that he's doing the right thing. At least, from what we've seen from his perspective, it makes sense. We don't want all of the 100,000 men that were Mance, followers out there to be killed and join the ranks of this, army of the dead. But he's really not selling this very well. Like, he's just kind of showing up in front of the room and is like, all right, change of plans. All right, we're doing things completely differently. Like, he doesn't ease into it at all. This is like day 3 on the job, right? I mean, his first 100 days in office start with a bang.
Yeah, first 100 days. Build a latrine, rebuild a castle.
Kill Slint.
Kill Slint. We're going to go save 100,000 wildlings.
All right, let's do this.
Wildlings lives matter.
It's just like we know his heart's in the right place, and it's a good idea. It's just like you got to work on your salesmanship a bit. Like, ease into it, bud. I mean, come on.
Well, those pouty lips and that nice hair get him a lot of places in life, so you got to give it to him. He kind of expects it, right?
If nothing else, sell it to the point of, hey, there's women up there that we could bring back and store at Molestown. New blood, just saying. I'm sure Bucktooth Becky, is getting a little old for you.
Oh, good old Bucktooth Becky. Becky Pipes.
Johnny, go ahead and finish this off for this scene.
Yeah, I got old Bitty Eyes, Thorn, and the others aren't pleased. Ollie has resting bitch face and can't get over his mama and papa being eating. So I can't necessarily blame him for that. And he's young, and he can't see the bigger picture yet. And what's Ollie? 11, 12? Or how old is he?
Roughly. Something like that.
I will say his balls dropped between last season and this one. His voice was quite a bit lower when he spoke.
And I got, when Jon says he understands, but winter is coming. Everything before the word but. So.
It's a lie, yeah.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
However.
Yeah. Johnny, I was fuck Ollie, though.
What the acronym there was meaning. Thank you for that. I was like trying to figure out what the hell is RBF.
Resting bitch face. Yeah, I mean, for me, fuck Ollie. It's nothing to do with I think he's unjustified in being upset. It's nothing to do with I don't think he's got a good point, and he should be like, oh, Jon, I'm over my parents and everyone that I've ever met being slaughtered. Like, that's cool. Like, it's just, to me, it's more the showrunners making this such a blatant...
Dave and Dan baby.
Right. Literally, in season 1, they got together and, gestated out this character, and now we have to live with it. But
yeah, that's what they were. Whenever they got in charge of making the show, they're like, we need to make a character named Ollie that
you just fit him in.
Yeah.
So there's that.
All right, first order business.
All right, where are we going to
just named him Alfalfa and been done with it, and went ahead and trolled us completely.
Right. All right. Anybody got anything else on this one?
Nope.
Nah.
All right. Last scene at the wall, we got Gilly, Sam, Stannis, Davos, Shireen, Mel, Jon, and Selyse. Stannis tells Sam to keep researching and orders they ride at first light. So I like that how Stannis is impressed with who Sam's dad is. He's like, oh, he's the only one that defeated Robert during his rebellion. And he's not sure about, he's like, are you sure you're his son? You know, kind of having that look. But then he realizes, oh, this guy's actually done some shit. You know, he's been north of the wall. He killed a White Walker. He knows how to kill him, you know, so he's like, keep doing your research. I appreciate that. And then also, you know, Sir Davos, I love the line with Davos, you know, shit, I can't remember. I'm not scared, Sir Davos. And he's like, well, I am princess. And when the bell comes, you'll protect me, right? And she just smiles at him and, you know, everything. And she just lights up every scene she's in. You know, I love it. You know, I love the two of them together. It's just, this is the dad she deserved for the show. I mean, book-wise, fine, might be different, but show-wise, Davos is the dad that Shireen, you know, is the one that I find the connection with. So, anyway, Luke.
Yeah, I mean, Stannis seems to have some kind of respect for Sam. He's definitely a little confused by him. He's like, you're not the type of son I would expect Randall Tarley to have. It seems like, I'm not the kind of son he wanted.
Right.
But,
and you killed a White Walker.
like things just aren't adding up in my cold cut, you know, combo
how
brain.
Did you do that?
If you will. And,
I don't believe you.
But I do like that he seems to kind of take Sam seriously with the, you know, like you're clearly doing your research into you're getting your works cited and your bibliography together. You're using MLA format, and that's what Stannis appreciates
and
about it.
1 inch margins.
But you know, he clearly is like, you know, the dragon glass. Oh, we got a shit ton of that. You know, a dragon stone. So like, I know what you're talking about, but like, why would you need that? He's like, I don't know. I'm looking at all these old books, and in the words of one of our special guests previously, he says, "Keep reading."
Keep reading. It's like reading Rainbow or something.
That's right. Where's LeVar Burton when you fucking need him?
Yeah, I love how Dragon Glass at Dragonstone is just an offhand comment. Just thrown out there and just moved on.
Yeah, yeah.
Sam like, wait, what?
Excuse me, sir.
You got a lot of it? No shit.
Yeah. Johnny.
Like, well, he doesn't even ask any more questions after that as well, but I'm going to give my thoughts on the scene, and then I'll jump in on those comments. And, you know, she does light up a room. You know, Gilly finds out about the Citadel, kind of hear a little bit more about the Citadel retaining all of the books, and, you know, Gilly is more of a man than Sam, according to Sam at this point, right? She can do everything Sam can't do, which I think is pretty freaking awesome. And he gives her the credit for it. And then, you know, Sam the Slayer in the Dragon Glass. And then we have, you know, Selysa's scarier than anything Davos could ever tell Shireen. She's hashtag creepy, you know. Sorry.
Right. Glenn?
Yeah, I guess we see, was it last episode or the episode before that, where Stannis is basically talking to Jon, and like, John's like, so when are you guys leaving? He's like, what? I guess you're bored of us, or you know, we outstayed our welcome, I guess. And then like, you know, all of a sudden, like it's a change of pace with, oh, now we need to go. We need time to leave. So that's all I really have. Like, it's just a different demeanor now that it's time to march south. When like the last episode, we're planning on staying for a little bit longer.
No one ever said Stannis can't take a hint, you know? And Jon said, when you guys leave, and he's like, what? We'll leave when we're ready. Well, when's, you know, and tomorrow morning, okay, we're ready.
Okay, now we're leaving. Fuck this place.
Screw you guys, I'm going south.
So Stannis also seems to kind of have a clear respect for Jon, you know, right? He basically gives him the ships that he requested. And because, you know, in the scene with old Tormund, he was like, where the fuck did you get these ships? He's like, I'll ask Stannis. And so he's like, you know, hey, thanks for the ships. Good on you. Cool, bro. But that's kind of a sacrifice that Stannis is making. Yeah, he's not really using them right now. He's planning on taking, you know, the King's Road south. But still, I mean, like, he's supplying things to the Night's Watch.
Well,
right?
I think, doesn't he like assume that the wildlings will join his army eventually, or?
I mean, that's what it sounds like Davos is trying to say. Like, if we just wait a little bit longer, we can maybe have a couple of thousand more, you know, thousands of more men joining us. And Stannis is like, we don't have time for that. We need to go right now, because time right now is only helping the Boltons, which is a little questionable. Like, a couple 100,000 men. a little bit more time. They're really racing winter is the big issue, though. So
right, and then are they like our weatherman today? You know, can we rely on the Citadel as much as we can, the Weather Channel?
I don't know. There could be another false spring soon.
You know, like you had mentioned, Randall Tarley beat Robert Baratheon was one of the only people to ever beat him on. Actually, the only person to ever beat him on the field, right? At the Battle of Ashford.
Yep.
I thought that was interesting. Something else that was mentioned was the Crimps of Winterfell was mentioned by Shireen. I thought that was a nice little tidbit there. Just everything to add on to what you've said to encompass this, you know, this Shireen and Davos moment, you know, like you said earlier, Ben, with, you know, don't worry, I'll protect you, and I don't know, it's a really touching scene. I like everything in there, and it shows a lot of character development for like 3 or 4 characters in a short amount of time right there. And that's, I really appreciated it.
And one other thing to note is who's riding right beside Stannis as they leave. It's Mel. She's riding right in honor with him, you know, as they're heading out. And I think that's another thing that's telling of the man. It's not his queen. It's not his hand. It's, you know, the Red Witch. And so it's kind of one of those of, it's his way of saying, yes, she is number 2, just without even having to say it.
Yeah, she can stare right through your soul, man.
That's steal your soul, so you don't even have one anymore. Johnny, you made a point that I really hadn't even thought about. Like, I just taking notes, I didn't even think about it. But yeah, when Shireen talks about the Winterfell crypts, we know that she's been up here reading right along with Sam, right? She's been teaching Gilly how to read, but she's probably also been reading some of the things that Sam has. I mean, these are books that don't exist anywhere else, a lot of them. They were written by the Maesters at the Wall. It's not the Citadel, where there's just new copies being made of all these books, you know, for time immemorial. But it's really interesting to think of. She seems to be a very intelligent young character. I would really like to see her in the Winterfell crypts and see what she finds down there. You know, what kind of history she could dig up, or in the Winterfell
I read about
library
this,
too.
and there it is. Yeah.
Because, you know, and the Winterfell library was burned in episode 2 of season 1. So, like, but we don't know if it was like completely burned down. Maybe this, you know, just portions of it.
They got a flash drive. They got everything.
Yeah, they had a hard drive backup of everything, digital copies. So they're good.
And Tyrion had some copies, right? Tyrion had some copies. Didn't he leave them at the Wall?
He took them with him.
He took them back. Oh, crap.
Did he return them when he went back to see Bran and Rob? I don't know.
I don't think it mentions.
He's going to have to pay a fine.
I don't know if the show really mentions it much that he took books with him. Did they?
Yeah, no, that definitely is. Yeah, it's a book thing too. But yeah, he did take a couple for the journey.
Yeah, eventually he's going to have to pay 43 cents when he goes back.
Season 8 prediction.
I've had these books for 8 years. You're charging me 61 cents for the late fee?
It's actually 4 silver
stags.
4 silver stags. Yeah, that's it.
And Lannister always pays his library fines.
That's a debt.
I just want to say, Shireen, that's all she's did is read her whole life. That's all she's had to live.
That's all she's been allowed to do. You know, with a mom like Selyse.
See, and Abby's been, you know, hating on Selyse. She just really values the reading opportunities that Shireen is getting. So I'm pulling back on any Selyse hate. She's a little creepy, but she just really, really appreciates good literature.
We all lock our kids in a room, you know, no big deal.
Don't ask me where Clovis is.
They tried to give her dolls and stuff like that.
They tried to give her dowels too.
See what happened.
Yeah, you know. You gotta stay away from toys, you know. Killing the youth.
Right. I know. Oh. All right. So we're gonna head down south to Wintertown/Winterfell. We got Pod, Brienne, and an innkeep. Brienne watches over Winterfell and asks for a message to be delivered. Luke, go ahead.
I can kind of see where Pod is coming from here. He's like, hey, maybe it's not the worst thing ever for her to be back at Winterfell. And to quote one of my favorite movies of all time, the closer we are to danger, the farther we are from home. # Peregrine Took.
Womp womp. Johnny.
It's only you that doesn't appreciate it, so that's fine.
Cricket soundboard. No, I'm just
I could fill it with laughter. I have those buttons.
Okay, so, Pod Tweedledees his way up the tower, and then for some reason, he thinks Sansa's better off in Winterfell with Wormy Lips Bolton. It's classic Pod. And basically what I have here is Brienne is the Oathkeeper. She lives up to her sword's namesake. And, Pod, you just gotta love Pod. Come on. The look on his face when he just stares at you with that awkward
Those
smile.
big doe eyes.
It's just like, bing, 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 bing.
Glenn?
Yeah, I can see where Pod is coming from. And to quote one of my favorite movies, get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper now.
Get there.
No, I was just kind of making fun of Luke. That's it.
Oh, you were.
No, I don't mind.
That got a better reaction than your crickets over there.
I'm just going to quote one of my favorite shows, and so her watch begins. I see what I did there. Because that's, she
Said this
just...
show.
You just fulfilled the cricket space.
Yeah, creepy. Now, if that's not Rory Dotrice, I don't know who is. The Pyromancer films. I know. Anyway, he looks very similar. Very nondescript character.
Yeah, just some bloke.
Some guy.
Yeah. And watch him actually be like some British actor that, just had a cameo, that I've never heard of.
I didn't listen to the commentary, but if it was, they'll talk about it.
Oh, he did such a great job.
His and Brienne's chemistry here was just amazing. It was just such an honor to work with two actors like this in the same room.
This was such a beautiful place to shoot, too.
So we go into Winterfell. We have Ramsay and Miranda. Miranda is bothered by Ramsay's betrothal. Johnny, what you think on this?
So she's, she's very jealous, of course. But, she tells her mom, Sansa, that she'll have plenty of time for her. My bad. I'm sorry, I got off track. Sansa goes up to the Broken Tower, right, kind of retracing her mother's footsteps. And Miranda comes up, and am I in the right spot?
I think that's the next. I think that's the next scene. This is
dang it,
Ramsay and Miranda banging.
This was a tough scene to get the screen caps for, by the way.
I'm surprised you got this many.
No.
That's my bad. I got you. Basically, what I took from was, don't worry, I'll have plenty of time for you, Miranda, and to torture Reek as well. And Miranda is Biter from the books, confirmed. They D&D meshed her character together.
Chomp.
Game of consolidation, right? Yeah.
That's right.
Strikes
how
again.
they do.
Glenn?
Yeah, it's funny. Like, Miranda thought she won this big love triangle with her and that other, blonde girl. And then she got, taken out. And then now Sansa comes in and it's just like back to the same spot. And like kind of Miranda, definitely jealous. I agree with that. But she says to Ramsay, maybe I'll, marry or something like that. And he basically says, you're going nowhere.
Bonesaw.
Oh, yeah. Bonesaw's ready.
I thought I saw a gif of that today somewhere.
You know me, I love Ramsay, and Chelsea bores me. You're not going to bore me, are you? Goddamn straight, put her in her place. He doesn't mind the bite, just don't be boring.
He actually looked like that hurt him a little bit. Like it bothered him.
Like
he can't
he was pissed at first, but then he was like, all right, we're playing this game on.
Game of biting.
Hello, Reek.
There's a reason he still has his tongue. Hello, Clarice.
So at the very end, after she bites him and they start kind of getting at it, her face right here, you can kind of see it. She feels like she has some real power over him. Like she's definitely a total jellyfish donut pretty much the whole time, but basically turns into, she figures, finds an opportunity to kind of get a chance to bite him, right? Miranda uses bite. It's highly effective. It's a critical hit, but it seems like in her head, this was a very good way to kind of get control back on him and I don't know
Sure.
if she should be as confident as she is my main point. I don't know. He's kind of a wild card, way more than you might know. I don't know.
Wild card, bitches!
Wild card, bitches!
Also confirms my Bolton conspiracy that's been going out. Bruce
Yeah.
Bolton, the vampire.
Yeah, the vampire. Yep. They don't have the leeches in the show.
Yeah, they didn't have garlic at the dinner, I don't think.
No garlic at the red wedding. That's true.
He's glittering.
So, all right. So we're going to move on to the next scene with Sansa, Old Woman, Miranda, Reek, and Ramsay. Sansa learns of friends in the north. Miranda shows her something special, and Ramsay forgives for keeping secrets. Glenn?
Yeah, we learn here that Sansa's got friends in low places.
Well, she's got frenemies in low places.
Well,
but yeah,
like,
agreed. Agreed. That one hell of a way to find, at some point growing up, Sansa looked at Theon and was like, I could see that. Seeing as the older guy that lives, you always have, doesn't matter guy or girl, you have somebody else around in that older role that's not your family. You're going to maybe think, maybe someday me and them could actually. So, at some point, Sansa had that thought about Theon back in the day. And now seeing him like this, just on top of everything else. That's my own tinfoil, but just putting it out.
Yeah, I don't think that's going through her head in this scene at all.
Yeah.
Like, oh, wow, I read that
remember,
one time.
remember when I was a little
banging.
girl and I thought about me and Theon?
No offense, Bez. I just don't think that's really a part of it here.
No, I'm not saying it's part of it here. I'm saying just subcontextually.
Okay, all
I
right.
think Theon's been thinking about Roz while he's in the pen there, maybe.
He doesn't even know that she's gone, probably.
He probably doesn't.
Yeah.
Where's my gold dragon?
Wherever whores go.
So I'm going, I might note the last part of the scene. How dare you, Reek, for letting yourself be seen? You had one job. Well, on top of all the other shit I make you do. But this is why Ramsay is the best. Tough but fair. Just like Stannis. He scolds and then he forgives. He's just as good as Stannis is.
I would say he's the epitome of mankind. I'm sorry.
Exactly. Yeah, he is the best of he's the most neutral of people. He's very fair.
Neutral character. That is,
Neutral.
yeah. No, you're completely wrong, and that's fine.
Luke, go ahead.
Just do the math.
And that's okay.
Just do the math. And that's okay. And that's fine. So my thought here kind of comes back towards the beginning of this scene when we have old woman Josie show up and
Another friend in low places.
it was kind of a high place. I mean, it looks like
but she's referring to people in low places.
But she's talking about the top of the tower. I mean, that seems like a high place.
But everybody else would be lower than that.
If you're in the high tower, then everyone else is low. Okay, fine. That's fine.
We're talking about altitude now. I mean, are you talking about scum of the earth low place, or no? I'm just messing.
No, she's from Canada now that it's legal. They're in the north. It's legal and
It's legal to be Canadian. Is that
high places such as they just passed.
Yeah, blame Canada.
Yeah.
Canada? But so Sansa's, Dark Sansa's sitting in her room and kind of thinking over things. That last scene was pretty kind of fucked up for her. And well, I guess that's actually the scene that is coming up, the dinner scene. But this old woman comes in and she's like, "Oh, I'm here to fill up your water basin." And she's like, "I don't need it. Stop talking. I have things to tell you." Like, this is like one of those NPCs walking into the room, non-playable character. Listen to the information that they have. They are here for a reason. And she's like, well, the North remembers. Do this thing if you need help. You're not alone. That's kind of a big ace up the sleeve that I don't think Sansa was counting on.
And she, comes into her digs.
And she enters the digs and is like, "Hey, I have some water for your digs. I'm here to improve the digs."
So, all right, Johnny, go ahead and go with your point that you were going to earlier.
Yeah, I was just going to say Sansa kind of retraces Kat, the village idiot's path at the Broken Tower. Her new BFF, Miss Biter, she kind of says she would rather have a mother. But you have a new Reek, ripened to perfection. #handholding.
Sansa, you're being greedy here.
Exactly.
Hashtag particularly ripe tonight.
There you go.
So, all right. For our in-show promo, make sure you follow us on Instagram so you can see Luke post all of his weird and funny stuff on @KnowAndDrink.
Weird.
Yeah, didn't you post the moon or some shit a few months back? It was like weird. Or was it a star?
I think that was maybe on the not named Instagram, and it was Mars, and Mars was bright tonight, you dumbass.
Fair enough.
Come on.
Okay.
The moon.
Wait, it was after we had already fucking done a show. So
It was
whatever.
at like 4 a.m. That is completely true.
So, all right. But make sure you follow us on Instagram @KnowAndDrink to get some fun little behind the scenes stuff. But
Pictures
it's
of the
fairly
moon.
entertaining. Yeah. So we're staying in Winterfell. We have Ramsay, Roose, Sansa, Fat Walda, and Reek. Family shares a dinner. Reek apologizes and will give the bride away. Who did I start? I think this is mine. This is a strange place. This is my home. This isn't a strange... Sorry, I will restart this. This isn't a strange place. This is my home. It's the people who are strange. You're right. Very strange. I fucking love this scene. It's so delightfully evil. Just all of it. You know, Ramsay fucking with Sansa, fucking with Reek, fucking with... Hell, even fucking with Fat Walda, you know, a bit here and there. You know, until very end when they tell him, oh yeah, Fat Walda's pregnant. And he's just like, goes from, to, oh, fuck. And Sansa with that little smirk at the end. Just beautiful. Absolutely great scene. Luke?
This isn't a strange place. This is my home. I also had that written down. It's a great kind of, in Glenn's words, dig that she can get. And, cause it is, as DA says, it's all about the digs.
The dig.
And,
yeah. That's true.
Just who would have thought, you know, a simple apology, you know, would have solved all this animosity. Nice job. Problem solver, Ramsay. Problem solver. Be bigger than the situation.
Yep.
Yeah. Johnny?
So you said be bigger than the situation, and then, you know, Kenzie's talking about poor Fat Walda, and it makes me feel horrible because, you know, the whole theme of Fat Walda is how much silver did Roose get for her exactly, because that's why he chose to marry her, which I just had to throw out there.
think it
It's
was
awful.
10 silvers per stone, or like 100 silvers per stone, or something like that.
That's so messed up.
I think it was just her weight in silver is what it was. But
That's what it was.
but
Yeah.
To your
she was
point.
proud of that. She looked at it as a, you know, like, hey, I fetched a pretty penny. A few.
Yeah, like some cultures where
Yes.
it's if you're like fat and that means like you're more wealthy.
Exactly.
It wasn't that long ago that if you were bigger, that you were considered more beautiful. That skinny people were considered ugly. So probably 100 years ago, not that long ago. So you know, to y'all's point, strange is a bit of a soft term there, Ben. I would say batshit crazy. I'm sorry for being myself, my Lord Ramsay. Whatever you say, dear leader, it's kind of what I come with the or reek. And here comes the bride all covered in reek. Roose has made a baby vampire with Walda, and you know that's kind of how we end that scene. And the look on Ramsay's face is priceless. I love that look better than Ramsay's death. I'm sorry. No, oh my gosh, I just messed up. I screwed up.
I mean,
Go ahead, Glenn.
Fuck up.
anyways, yeah, we see Roose ask Sansa if she thinks her new digs are suitable, so that was pretty cool to see.
How
you know.
them digs, to quote.
Yeah, that's a nice thing to say. You know, digs first, and then we'll talk about other stuff at a dinner. But then this really shows how evil Ramsay can be. I think because he's like kind of parading Reek around, just kind of showing that he has him by the tail and can do and say whatever he wants to him, and he'll just kind of oblige. And then just kind of pressing the issue with Sansa and Reek, just forcing the hand of them kind of meeting and him apologizing to her and stuff like that. Just really awkward the way it was all done, but like it was just really enjoyable for Ramsay only, probably.
Until Roose kind of pulls one back on him, and he's like, and she's pregnant. So, like, cool.
Yeah, and Roose is good for that. Like, he usually, like, kind of sits back, kind of knows what card he's playing, and then, like, okay, all right. well, here's this. Like, you're having your fun over there. Let me tell you something that's fun.
Oh, exactly. I had a comment. The comment I was going to make, Glenn, he said he was dragging him around by the tail, and I was thinking, well, yeah, you can't really drag him around by the balls anymore, so it's got to be by the tail.
Yeah.
Luckily, he gave him a tail. You know, that was a weird, interesting part of the torture.
He put the balls and made a tail for him.
He put the balls in his court.
So, all right, our last scene in Winterfell, we have Roose and Ramsay. They discuss the birds and the bees and how to find it, and Ramsay's parentage. Luke?
I was just kind of getting on this, but I really love when Roose kind of fucks with Ramsay just to get him riled up and motivated. Like, he's like, hey, saying it, there's going to be, a new son is what it looks like coming up. So keep doing a good job.
Right. The Maester says it's a boy.
Right. Maester Wolken.
Johnny?
Well, I'll tell you how he knows, Ramsay. Roose has his ways. And also, is there such a thing as a better alternative for Ramsay Bolton?
No, there's not.
As soon as I saw those worms for lips, I knew you were mine. That's what
They actually did, there's some semblances between these two. I could see it's a good cast. They probably didn't cast it based off looks alone, but you can see they played it up well, that these two, you can believe that one's the other's son.
Which one?
Hey, we could have had Ramsay as Jon Snow. He was like second choice. Just saying.
We're all related in the north.
Glenn, go ahead.
Yeah, this one you could see that Roose is kind of a wild card too. He usually doesn't show it. He kind of doesn't show his cards a lot, but him kind of saying that so and so got married like without my knowledge of it or whatever he said, and then I had that motherfucker hanged, and then I basically raped this girl and had you. And I wanted to throw you in the river, but I saw you and I was like, oh, I'll just take him.
Hey, clearly looks like me.
Yeah, he's kind of mine. And that kind of goes into my note of, once again, that was almost sweet from Roose, apart from the rape bit. But it is missing kind of my favorite line from the books from Roose to Ramsay of, don't make me rue the day I raped your mother. That's one line I wish that just would have played into it. And I don't remember if it's in later in the show, but I don't think so. So I'm not spoiling anything.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
I don't think it is. But that's one I just kind of wish it was slipped in. But I love how Roose just knows how to turn the needle on Ramsay just to make him perform better. Like Luke said, motivate him.
Yeah, I mean, Roose knows how to perform, right? I mean, if you can perform under a tree with a hanging, man, whatever, that's, you love that house. That's your house, man.
Yeah.
House Bolton.
Our blades are sharp.
Yeah, and you guys are fucked up. Like, that's fucked up. That's fucked
Swing.
up. Just how, without conscience at all, he talks about that.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly to Glenn's point, Roose can be pretty fucking evil. Like, yeah, that there's no excuse for that. You can't talk yourself around like, oh, maybe he had other intentions. No. No.
He held true to what his beliefs were. They needed to ask his permission. That was not granted, so he took his will. I'm not saying it's correct.
Sure sounds like you're saying you agree with him.
I'm just saying he did what he felt was his duty.
He said duty.
I had a duty. I had a question kind of going back to the last thing. Do you think Ramsay sent Miranda to take Sansa to see Rick, or that she did that out of spite?
On this one, I don't think so. I think Ramsay thinks he has control over Miranda and has her under control. And I think on this one, this is all Miranda trying to stir the fucking pot. Because she's jealous of Sansa, and she wants to just fuck everything up as quick as she can.
Right. Also, I think Ramsay's one of those guys that would just get pleasure out of seeing all that kind of chaos going on. Like, he wouldn't not really care much for the just hearing about it. Yeah, you get more pleasure out of seeing it, I think.
Yeah. Hence the dinner scene when he brought him in and all that.
Yeah, Roose wasn't a big fan of parading Theon around like that.
Yeah.
That was, I don't know, interesting to see them kind of squabbling a bit.
Roose's heart beats with human blood, right? Not his own, but human blood.
I wish they'd have brought the leeches in. Like, that would have been good.
Yeah. See, but again, cutting out the Roose Arya stuff for Tywin Arya, we don't really get the whole, because by this point, even in the book wise, he's not really doing all the leeches as much, or it's not talked up as much.
He's already a complete vampire at that point.
Yeah.
He's completed his transformation.
Sanguini.
There you go.
All right. So, anything else on Winterfell, Wintertown, anything like that?
A lot of
Stannis'
scenes.
Nosferatu confirmed.
There you go. Yeah. That actually, I could be convinced on that one. There are some clear themes on that, for sure.
Yeah. So, all right. So, we give one every show, but we got the final scene.
Final scene.
Here's the final scene, Johnny.
Was good clink.
Clinkage.
In the clink. Chat. Online buddies.
All right. So, we're going to Valyria, or there's a river that they're on that Luke actually knows the name of. That's
This is Frank's shirt.
I think this is Frank's shirt.
So Luke knows the name of this river. I'm not sure, but we have Tyria, Jorah, and some stonemen. The two discuss the doom, observe a dragon, and survive an attack by some thick-skinned dudes. Luke, go ahead and start us off.
Dragon motherfuckers! That's
Where?
just kind of whenever, well, it's not on the screen yet. Oh, there it is!
There's one.
There's dragon motherfuckers! That's all I got right now.
Dragon.
Dragon. Pretty cool scene for, graphics look good. Tyrion's first experience. Glenn, tell him about your first experience with
a dragon? Yeah, it was a long night.
It was just a real crazy time.
No,
She didn't brush her teeth.
I gave her Mentos. Bad idea.
She was hot.
She was drinking a lot of Diet Coke.
I was going to say.
She was hot.
She was hot.
Oh, that's bad.
Johnny.
Oh, you calling on me to say something here?
Your
yeah.
thoughts on the scene.
Yeah, I got plenty of thoughts on that. You know, people who drink need to keep drinking for one. And you know, when Jorah first looked and they saw the smoking sea, right? I thought Jorah saw a barrel of floating wine right before we see Valyria. Right. So you know, that was damn. That just let me down, man. And then you gotta love the dragon shot, right? And also cement zombies. Yes, please. I mean,
You gotta love
you
that.
can't go wrong with that.
Right. Sorry, I was kind of splitting them up here, Johnny. Sorry. Glenn, go ahead with yours.
Yeah, so he says, for centuries, Valyrians were the best at just about everything. And then they weren't.
And then they weren't.
And they weren't. Yep.
So it was it's amazing how, you know, like a giant culture like that they had everything kind of by the balls, and then all of a sudden they had nothing. Kind of similar to like ancient Greece, I assume.
Pompeii.
Pompeii.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the consensus of what the doom was, of a volcanic eruption or similar?
Well, wasn't it like a shit ton
Not
of
possible.
volcanoes?
Not possible.
Not possible.
I talked to a geologist.
I was going to
According
say,
to Milk K,
according to the
not
Westerosi
possible.
Ninja.
Not even a super volcano would do that.
The theory
they couldn't all
within
erupt at the same time without magic. Go ahead.
the theory within canon is that yes, the 9 flames erupted, which are apparently considered to be volcanoes of some sort, all erupted at the same time. It's still very unclear, but that is kind of the basis, which anything you read in the Land or the World of Ice and Fire book, take it with a grain of salt, because it's written by maesters who have their own agenda and are consistently talking against themselves even.
It's consistent with real world, right? We got a methane problem with all the cows. What if the fireworms are just farting a whole lot and it's building up and then exploded in Valyria, right?
That's what happened, I think.
I think that's
They
what
would
could
put out
happen.
something far worse than methane, I would think. Huh? That's one of the theories, just fireworms, though.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike was still on that. So, my only note on this scene, Try to get my dog to go to bed. Even the look from Jorah when he saw Drogo was like, holy fuck, he's gotten big. And the problem is, Luke, I don't have that picture in there because he kept freezing up my computer.
Gotcha.
So every time I tried to save it. But yeah, he just had this look like, holy shit, what the fuck? And it's kind of telling, that he was surprised by all this. So Luke, go ahead with your next note.
Stone men, motherfuckers! And right after Jorah's face, there's another image that I was hoping you'd catch of when they kind of show the dragon going by. They see Drogon fly over, and it kind of, you just see like the awestruck faces of Jorah and Tyrion, and you just see, it's pretty easy to miss, but there's a stone man that just plummets into the water,
what
and
was
like
that?
it's just like, okay, what the fuck was that? Because they didn't see it, but if you're watching,
and you know how
he's clearly
slow I'd have to slow the video down to get that picture. So I tried. I tried.
Bad.
Right. And obviously it's the first time Tyrion sees a live dragon, so he's definitely like in awe of that. And then like he doesn't really get to like cherish the moment, I guess, or kind of revel in what just happened, because the Stoneman thing just kind of arrives and totally like kind of takes away from the coolness of seeing a dragon.
Yeah. No, definitely. And after the whole thing, they jump into the water, get pulled down. I'm just glad they didn't leave this as a fucking cliffhanger. I would have been, watching it back again, I couldn't remember if they cut it off as he blacks out and fades out. Because it's been a while since I've watched these episodes. And it's like, motherfucker, don't tell me you're leaving this as a cliffhanger for us to wonder, oh, is Tyrion gonna live this time? Yes, Tyrion's gonna fucking live. So they go forward with it, and when he pulls him out, it was a good scene of, even so me, I like I said, I've watched the show many times, but I forgot that this didn't leave as a cliffhanger, so I was happy to see that. Johnny, finish this off.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, Glenn, it's like he sees that. I don't even think you remember what the dragon really looked like. He didn't even have time to soak it in. Then you're in that fight or flight panic moment where he's just taken there, and then, at first you're for sure Tyrion got touched, right? That's who you would think got touched, and then it gives us that what we think's going to be a cliffhanger. Then Jorah pulls him up. You're heavier than you look, or is Jorah just weaker, just a weakling, right? It's one of the two. But I think it was a good scene, and Jorah kind of completely solidified himself as John Connington in that scene, in my eyes.
Yeah, agreed. So anybody got anything else on the Tyrion and Jorah and Valyria?
He does look at his wrist.
Yeah.
At the end.
At the very
end. I thought he was, checking his quarterback, plays.
Yeah, all right. Spider 2Y banana.
Exactly. I know what that means. There are some things you can't share without ending up liking each other, and escaping Stone Med in the smoking sea around Valyria is one of them.
There you go. On the list.
Right, and checking in with the Umbrella Corps.
All right. So we're going to move on. So that's the end of the episode recap. So episode title accuracy. Kill the boy. I mean, it was a speech from Aemond.
Yeah, and I think, as Glenn pointed out, it clearly applies to Dany as well. It's just for the similar kind of leadership things that they're
coming of age
as a leader. Yeah,
just want to throw this out there. Wasn't Ramsay for like for season 3 called the boy?
We had to call him boy.
Boy,
but I'm saying even in credits, I think he was credited as.
At least in the Amazon X-ray. I don't know if it was actually in the credits anywhere. Yeah. I don't know.
Like, I think IMDb-wise was boy, the boy, for until it was found out who he was.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. But
so,
good
all
title.
Right. Description accuracy. Dany makes a difficult decision in Meereen.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but she does that all the time.
Everything she's done.
I would argue.
No, Daria 2.0 wasn't that easy. Or wasn't that hard. Well, I guess maybe
he got hard.
Yeah.
Somebody was hard.
Yeah. I mean, they both got off, and then she got off on feeding her babies, and then, she didn't really have much of a other choice than to marry him. I don't see much other choice. I mean, she could have just went with the fire and blood aspect, but it seems like she's, for now, trying to go with a more diplomatic approach.
I kind of like, well, I don't want to get into, but we'll get into book stuff in the epilogue, so I won't jump into that, so I'll leave that alone. Next part is John recruits help from an unexpected ally. I mean, is it unexpected? Him and Tormund were friends, you know? I don't know. The unexpected part, I don't know. It's from an unknown ally, or I don't know if I'd word it that way, but it's not a word.
I guess they just don't. You're not supposed to think that John's gonna, I guess, try to get help from Tormund, if you will, because he is chained up or whatever. So
that's fair.
I don't know, but I think it's a stretch.
It also could be a stretch whether or not Tormund will work with him. I mean, it could just be unexpected in the fact that why the fuck would Tormund agree to that?
Yeah.
So, Johnny, anything on that?
Yeah, I would just say the only thing I would say is Tormund wouldn't want to burn, for sure. Not after seeing that. Even seeing the great Mance Raider go through that, you know. That's hard to anyone.
Rest in ashes.
So, Brienne searches for Sansa. I'm going to take issue with this. She knows where Sansa is. She's not searching. She's found her. She's watching for Sansa.
Yeah. She's trying to send messages to Sansa.
Yeah. You know, tries to contact Sansa. Sure, fine. She's not searching. Anybody else?
She needs to borrow Lewin's monocle, you know, that he got. But that's from the books. We can talk about that later again.
Theon remains under Ramsay's control. Johnny?
There is no Theon, only Reek.
Fair. So this is a piss poor description. Just hands down. No. It's fair enough. It gets the point across. All right. So to least favorite thing. Glenn, you got anything for least favorite thing?
I don't know. I don't really have anything. Like it wasn't like the best episode ever, in my opinion, but like it wasn't the worst. It was just kind of like your run of the mill Game of Thrones episode, I guess.
Yeah, no, I agree. I couldn't come up with anything that I like hated, or that was like, It was just
was like
great.
Scratching a chalkboard or something. There's nothing like that, I don't think. But
Luke,
we really spent a lot of time with the Boltons. It really felt like we were there for half the episode. Like it was all the middle half. It was like the first quarter was like Marine at the Wall. And then we went to Winterfell until the final scene. I mean, I was going through this and it almost, I mean, we like tracked back to Marine for like the one, like Hisdar scene. And that's like it. And it's just kind of like, I don't know. It seems like a lot of these episodes, we're almost complaining that they jump around a lot. And I feel like I'm complaining that we spent too much time here and not checking in on other things. And also just the consolidation that goes along with it of it being Sansa there. I had just fundamentally had problems with that.
And actually, I'll change it. My least favorite thing, no Arya. No Bravos. No. That's the storyline that, at this point, that I'm most invested in.
No Bran. There it is. That's my least favorite thing.
I'll get used to that one. So, Johnny, what about you?
See, I thought you were going to have something. So, you know, of course, no wine from Mormont, his line. How could you not pick that one? And then my favorite moment of the whole thing was long sullen silences and an occasional punch in the face. The Mormont way.
Exactly. All right. So, and perfect, because I was actually going to go backwards on this. So, Luke, what's your favorite thing?
I really, really liked seeing the Smoking Sea and Valyria. I thought it really looked really good. It looks pretty foreboding as they're going into it. And Tyrion's like, you know, they say the Doom is still here, like, and that's probably not a good idea for us. And he's like, do you believe that? And Jorah's like, well, no. But you know who does? Pirates. And we're going to go and stay away from them because that's bad news for us. But I think Valyria looked really good, especially when they're kind of on the shore here. This perfect picture here done by Ben here. And he's looking back and he sees it and it looks cool. Or is he looking forward there? Let's see. That's the western sky.
I thought it was looking back at Valyria.
Right. Yeah, I believe so. So. Also, looking at which side the sun's on makes me think, yes, he'd be looking back west towards Valyria. So, yeah, it just looks cool. And I think they did a good job with it.
So my favorite thing, of course, is the dinner scene. I loved the fucking confrontation between Sansa and Reek, with Ramsay just needling every fucking nerve he can get, and it was just so awesomely uncomfortable that I just couldn't help but laugh and smile the whole time. Glenn, how about you?
Yeah, so I think everyone remembers that Aemon Targaryen was kind of the inspiration behind Nike's "Just Do It." I just like that speech where like Jon basically just comes up to him, "Hey, Maester Aemon, like I got this thing that I'm wanting to do it," and he's just do it.
Right.
But you haven't heard what I want to do.
And then
I got 99 problems, but your shit ain't one.
The real villain was Eckersley because he knew he was blind and he still said fuck him.
Sounds familiar. Okay, you gotta name the reference.
Fuck
on
that
one.
guy, said Eckersley.
Mike Birbiglia, stand up. Check it out.
I'm like, it sounded familiar. But
It's hilarious.
yeah. So, all right. So, our other podcast is the podcast that must not be named, which is a chapter by chapter read through of Harry Potter and whatever fucking adventure he's on at the time. Right now, I think we're on book 4. I know we're on book 4 because I'm doing all the goddamn summaries for him. But it's hosted by Luke and Melissa, our sister Melissa, who you met a couple weeks ago. They do a great job. It's spoiler free, great for families to listen to. It's a fun way to spend your money. They come out on Sundays. I listen to them at first day on Mondays because it's a good thing to do at work. But it's a fun time. They are very introspective and very insightful into all the stuff on the show, but they keep it to where anybody can understand it, especially me, which, that's saying something. But to find that and our other shows, make sure you go to thepodcastthat.com and you can learn more there. So, first time watching on the wall, what are your predictions?
I don't have a whole lot this time. That's the worst Abby impression I think I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, we'll try to get him from her next episode. Hopefully we'll get him from her.
Well, she's hosting, so she better fucking be here. So,
Yeah, just edit this one good. Go ahead.
all right. So we're gonna go to our house superlatives. Now, Johnny, did you want to do the full list, or did you want to just stick with the shortened one?
What, the whole thing I filled out? I filled it all out, didn't I? You might as well go ahead.
Well, Luke only had up the short list.
Well, you could have unhid them. That's all it is.
I don't know how to hide them.
Really? You don't know how to unhide cells in an Excel sheet?
Yeah,
It's
no.
done.
I don't see the long list.
They're
I
back
didn't
on.
see that.
So-
Now I see them.
So I'll start with Glenn here, and you can fill in the ones you don't have if you want to.
I'll try.
So, Glenn, what is your house name?
House name is Glenn of House Dog.
What are your words?
You miss 99% of the shots you don't take.
What's your sword?
My sword is Johnny, Utah.
Who do you pray to? Or what region are you from?
We pray to the Vale.
And what region do you pray to?
We are from the New Gods.
What's your horse's name?
Horse meat.
Animal?
Rich the Flying Squirrel.
Your home?
The castle at Beast Mountain.
What's your paper?
The Moon Door Bee.
Who's your famous ancestor?
The Duff.
And who's your house minstrel or fool?
Berube the Barf.
And what's your Twitter?
At Popsicle Stand.
Any final thoughts?
Not really. Just, I like the episode. That's about it. I don't know. I don't have anything.
Fair enough. Well, I'm Ben Slivehouse McLean. My house words are "It's dangerous to drink alone." My house sigil is 3 golden triangles on a field of red and black. My house sword is Konami because they make blades of steel. My house region is the Reach. My house religion, we pray to the gods of tits and wine. We ride Peach all night long. Aries the Phoenix is my bird. Ancestral home is Tower of Hera. Watch out for Mordorn. We read the Daily Sun. My great uncle John, who's the savior of winter celebrations, is my famous ancestor. My minstrel or fool is Crap Nickeldum, the dancing mime, the singing mime. There we go. And my personal
Mr.
Twitter
Mime.
is at Sly McLean. Final thought is, again, of all the episodes, this was one. But it was a fun one because I do like the Bolton stuff. It just makes me smile. Luke, what's your house name?
I am Lucan of House Blackmead.
What are your words?
Ours is the drink.
What's your sigil?
An obsidian black chalice on a gold and blue checky background.
What's your sword?
A Valyrian steel axe called Sweet Sting.
Where are you from?
The Stormlands.
Who do you pray to?
Dem old gods.
What's your horse's name?
Cherry.
How about your animal?
Old Paris the parrot.
What's your home?
The Black Cask Keep.
And your newspaper.
The Drowned Word.
Your famous ancestor.
Ashmere Rivers. You'll learn more about him later.
Maybe.
Will we?
What's your
I
Twitter?
hope so. My personal Twitter is @LugaFerocious.
And your minstrel.
Dingle.
Or Flo.
Dingleberry.
Dingle.
All right, Johnny.
Oh, no final
what's
thought?
your
I
house
don't get a
name?
final thought? No.
Are you ready?
You don't get a final thought.
I don't
no,
get
fuck
a
you.
final- Never mind. Okay.
Oh,
Go.
Luke, what's your final thought? Sorry.
Kill the boy, Jon Snow. Winter is almost upon us. Kill the boy, and let the man be born.
And also that Peregrine took
Yeah, it also,
reference.
the closer we are to danger, the farther we are from harm. He'll never expect it.
All right, Johnny, what's your house name?
I'm Johnny B of House Crazy.
And what's your words?
Where are my meds?
What's your house sigil?
Brown leather straitjacket on a field of raven scat, yellow as soiled snow.
What's your house sword? Oh, Johnny.
Oh, is he frozen? Oh, there he is.
For a second.
Johnny.
Okay.
There he is. Johnny be frozen.
Johnny be frozen. What's your
Let it go. Let
It's
it
the
go.
slippery eel,
Where are you from?
the neck,
All right, who do you pray to?
the old gods.
What's your horse's name?
Dick Beasley,
You got an animal?
a jackass covered in tar.
What's your ancestral home?
The shack of Prozac.
What paper do you read?
Illiterate Weekly.
Who's your famous house ancestor?
Sir Taserface of House Sarcasm. Got tased in the face once.
Oh, that's what happened.
How'd you
That makes sense.
How'd you name like that? Oh, I got tased in the face once.
What's your Twitter?
And Johnny B. Crazy, all capitals JBC.
All right, and who's your house minstrel or fool?
The real James Franco, a.k.a. Hellhound.
Nice, and final thoughts for this episode.
Whatever I'm doing, don't do it.
I like it. All right. So become a Patreon to get access to our epilogue episodes and stickers. Learn more at patreon.com/stayimaginary. For all the ways you can help keep our beer bank full, check out podcastthat.com/support us. Follow us on Twitter at Know and Drink. Send us a digital raven at knowandrink@gmail.com. Subscribe, like, rate, and leave comments on iTunes and YouTube. It really does help us out, especially when you hit that like button on YouTube. And until next time, as always, I don't know, so let's just drink.
As always, don't turn your back on the wolf pack.
As always, winter is coming, and so am I.
As always, sleep with one eye open.
And as always, stay imaginary. Imagery.
How do you know this?
That's what I do. I drink and I know things.
All right. And yes, Lady Laura, getting there, at least for myself.
Yeah, I'm half lit.
Glennie, how you feeling?
Good, I think.
Feeling good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sober-tober continues for me. Couple.
Over to
Two, I think, this one and maybe one more recording
2-3 weeks.
without?
Yeah. Because Halloween's Wednesday. Yeah. So just this one next. So.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, we want to do an epilogue for difference
Yeah,
for Eamon and kind of just focus on that a little bit.
Different strokes.
Do we want to do that, or do we want to do as we were doing all the way through, just book to show differences? We
Yeah.
can knock it out still fairly
I mean,
quick.
I don't care if you have something big, like go ahead and say it. But usually, I think I like do this for like book v show.
Let's do it.
Okay.
All
Let
right.
me
Johnny, you good? You still with us?
make what?
Bio breaks, all I need.
Yep.
All right,
Same here.
I'm going to put the making water thing up, and streamers will be back shortly.
Yes.
All right, all you dreamers and streamers out there.
Out there in South Park.
Oh, monkey. Dodgers won. Did you try out that thing? Piece of that game or whatever.
I haven't yet. I want to stream it. I've been trying to figure that out. But I think I've got an idea of how to get that to work. I think we talked about that earlier. I'm just gonna have to kind of play down here.
Blues won.
Ooh! W on the board.
They look a lot better.
They looked a lot better tonight.
Shit, I didn't get to catch the game, so.
They looked pretty good. Defense actually solid.
Toronto, right?
Yep. And they've been having a good season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Toronto's been one of the top teams.
Yeah,
so.
they're this 6-2.
Yeah.
Scoring a ton of goals.
So now we're,
Not
what,
tonight.
2-4?
2-3
2-3-1.
Yeah, we're on standby, right?
Yes.
I can say apologize for the fuck up.
Oh, you're good. You're
I
good.
didn't even catch it. Like, what are you talking?
He said
he
I said it was better than Ramsey's death. That's the only fuck up.
Well, everybody dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, don't. You're fine. I'll
Yeah,
probably
let me
take it
check
out of
this
the.
here.
I'll just clip it out of the audio because Abby doesn't really go back and watch the YouTube. She just listens to the audio podcast, so I'll trim it out of there.
Yeah, it won't be but just a second. It's like literally
Oh, yeah,
3
you're
word
fine.
sentence.
It's like that. Was it season 7 that I said something? I said something that was some kind of.
More than a little questionable to make a point. It wasn't. Yeah, and it was. Like,
Oh yeah, it was.
yeah, something that was Riley's fault.
Yeah, a homophobic slur.
Right, and he didn't really mean it to me. And I was just like, let's cut that because I know.
Yeah,
Glenn
what I
doesn't
said.
intend it
What I
that
said
way.
was.
Because we're talking about Renly and Loris.
Right, and I said, and there's the gay scene with them two, and then Riley like.
He just like made a big point. It's like,
Really blew
whoa,
up on
whoa.
it,
It's
yeah.
like, no, you're perfectly fine saying.
So then I
it was
got
a gay
more
scene. Like,
incorrect
right,
to try to correct
kind of
myself.
oversold it.
Because you
That's
said gay scene?
Right, yeah. Riley, our little brother, kind of overreacted, and it was. And so to Glenn being the one-upsman, be like, "Oh, you're gonna call me out on it." He was like, "Oh, you mean the fag scene?" And it was just like, "Oh God." It was like I know that Glenn would never really mean it that way. It was just because
Well, I
Riley
was
was
just pissed
being a
off that he
dick.
got
Yeah, it was-
he like got all
it, like,
up in arms
bent
about
out of
that.
shape. And it was perfectly fine what you'd said. And so like that's the only time I had to like not put the unedited, unbroken, uncut thing. I was like, I did cut that one.
Yeah, I just started rereading. And so I'm not in Dance of Dragons yet, where most of this takes place, but I still remember it, so it'll be fun to talk about.
Yeah.
How many minutes we got?
However many you need. I mean, or if you're good.
Just a couple. I need to. I use natural back pain medicine. That's all I'll say. Ben knows what I'm talking about. I don't
Take your
like-
time. We got all the time you need.
Okay. Well, I ain't gonna do that to you, but.
Oh no, you missed it during was that who it wasn't Chrissy. Who's the one I'm thinking of, Luke? Our one guest, I want to say it was end of like 4-7 or 4-8 from Girls Gone Canon.
Chloe?
Chloe, yeah. Like in this time, she's hitting her fucking hitting her whole bong and everything.
While y'all are on air?
No, like it.
Oh, I was about to, okay. I'm gonna hit my pipe if that's cool. Okay, good.
You're good, man.
It's not crack, I swear.
Be a lot cooler if it was.
Even though, yeah. all right.
You girls want to
Yeah.
play ring game.
Even though my answers for my answer, I had to come up with all this on the fucking fly. I'm usually better on the fly with comedy, so apparently
Those were good. Dude,
illiterate.
those were good.
I couldn't say illiterate weekly.
It almost sounded like you said like illiterate nitwit weekly.
Either way, that shit was like
It
kill me.
works.
But yeah, it worked good.
Yeah. The only rule with them is if it's legal where you are, then you can do it on stream.
Yeah, I'm not doing it on stream.
Well, I know. I'm just.
I don't want to do it on stream either way because people still judge, no matter what.
I don't blame you. I mean, I get it. And my vape is just nicotine vape. That's why I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Oh yeah. Well, I wish I had a vape. I didn't just say it was nicotine.
Exactly. Hey, Missouri's got 3 ballots right now up for at least medical this year. So
I doubt it's going to go
Do you
through.
think they're going to pass? I doubt it.
I really doubt it.
Oh, one of them will. The problem is it's going to be the 3 are going to cancel each other out, and we're going to get stuck with the shittiest one.
They took a poll in Alabama, and the poll passed, but then they took the law out from being voted upon. Like, they took it off the books.
That sucks.
It's pretty messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, once get 75% of the country under it, we can get federal, and then everybody else will come along. So,
Have y'all hit 100 subs yet?
did we hit that tonight, Luke?
It was at 97 when we started. I haven't gotten any notifications that it's changed. We got 15 watching right now.
Well,
LMR just popped in.
Yep, LMR's in.
I can guarantee you 100 by the end of the week if they're not here by tonight. I've been doing some work.
I know. I appreciate that. Even the little bit that I've seen, it's awesome, man. We really, really appreciate that.
I know how it is, and I've had people help me, so I'm trying to return the favor. And I really think y'all are good people, so nothing but love, man, for real.
Hey, man, you've been awesome. Hell, you bringing me on for your 100 subs thing, a month ago, and I think I've talked to you maybe twice, before that, even just in stream. I was like, fuck, that's awesome. So, you've been huge to helping us out.
Well, I don't know. It's weird shit. YouTube's weird. You gotta do certain stuff certain ways, or certain people won't pay no fucking attention. Anyways, you'll start to figure out the politics side starts getting them coming in, and people start, I don't know, whatever. I don't even want to talk about it. But you just gotta keep your head down, keep doing what you're doing, not worry about everyone else.
Yep,
The real
I
people
actively
stay there.
don't pay attention. Like, I'm friends with everybody, and not gonna be a part of any kind of drama because I just have no time for that shit.
Same
Keep everybody like this, man. I let a couple people in and it got weird, so I'm just staying in my lane. Screw it.
All right, we'll be back in about a minute and a half.
Sounds good to me.
And you got Dog in as well now.
Taser face.
Got Taser the face.
Taserface, that's an interesting name. How'd you get that name?
I got tased in the face.
Well, that makes sense.
At one time back in 1974, right when they first invented tasers, I had 3 heart attacks.
They had to use a fucking car battery to get the taser to work back then. But
Back
10
in
seconds.
my-
It was on my nipples. I don't understand.
All right, 5 seconds. Smiles.